The United States recently conducted a groundbreaking test of its new and improved A-10 Thunderbolt II, and it's making big waves in the defense industry. This update is essentially a declaration that the F-35 Lightning II, once seen as a potential replacement, might have to step aside. The Super A-10 Warthog has arrived, bringing with it a significant leap in intelligence and capabilities, thus reshaping the standards for attack aircraft. This recent iteration of the A-10 Warthog represents a substantial leap in technology and performance. It's a reinvention of what an attack aircraft can achieve. What does this mean for the future of warfare? Join us as we explore the A-10 Thunderbolt II and why it is considered to be the most feared plane in the world. The A-10 Thunderbolt, also called the Warthog, is a standout in the U.S. Air Force fleet, and it has a remarkable story. Since its inception in 1976, the A-10 has been flying missions with sheer guts and determination. It's like a superhero in the sky, capable of missions that no other aircraft can do, like flying with half its tail missing, or just one engine, or even part of a wing blown off. This thing is like the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going. Due to its sheer strength and amazing upgrades over the years, the retirement of this aerial beast isn't on the horizon until possibly the 2040s. That might not sound far off to us, but think about it. This plane has been in service for over 50 years. We have had some aircraft only survive for a decade or so. Why is close air support so important in combat? Close air support, CAS for short, is defined as air action by manned and unmanned fixed or rotary wing aircraft against hostile targets that are in close proximity to friendly forces and that require detailed integration of each air mission with the fire and movement of those forces. From the first bombs dropped on World War I trenches to MQ-9 Reaper strikes directed by troops in contact in Afghanistan, air assets have a legacy of providing life-saving and mission-essential close air support to ground forces. Air power, particularly close air support, was essential to restoring mobility to the modern battlefield after World War I, and has remained critical to retaining freedom of movement and action on land. Not only does close air support provide physical advantages to friendly forces, it also provides them with the psychological advantage of knowing that, upon contact with elusive and capable enemies, air power will pose enemy forces with multiple dilemmas and force them to respond to multiple forms of contact. During recent operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, CAS has increasingly become an essential aspect of effective unified land operations. From the perspective of ground forces in combat, U.S. and Allied dominance of the air domain has given CAS a Dial 911-like quality. Without CAS, joint forces operating in these highly contested and lethal multi-domain environments will be at unacceptable risk of destruction and mission failure. So what really makes this plane a legend? We're glad you asked. For one, it's the go-to aircraft for ground support, specifically designed to provide unparalleled backup for troops on the ground. It is a close air support aircraft used by the U.S. Air Force. One of its standout features is the insanely menacing 30mm gun called the GAU-8 Avenger. Now that name brings some firepower. This gun, tested in Nevada against modern armored vehicles, showcased its prowess by taking down tanks, including those equipped with sophisticated armor. The Avenger is a hydraulically driven 7-barrel Gatling-style autocannon. This gun was designed to destroy a wide variety of ground targets. The Avenger delivers very powerful rounds at a high rate of fire. During tests, pilots varied their attack angles to assess the gun's effectiveness against heavily armored targets. And it didn't just complete the mission, it obliterated it. Major Kyle Addison, the top gun in charge, couldn't stop raving about the A-10's firepower. On a single run, this beast can engage 9 to 10 targets before reloading. And when flying together, a squadron can take on over 40 armored vehicles. This gun plays a significant role in maintaining the A-10's balance and center of gravity. A jack must be installed beneath the airplane's tail whenever the gun is removed for inspection, in order to prevent the aircraft from tipping rearwards. The Avenger represents about 16% of the A-10 aircraft's unladen weight. The Avenger gun fires a mind-boggling 3,900 rounds per minute. It's been around since the 70s, when the Air Force sought a rapid-fire solution. General Electric's GAU-8 prototype became the A-10's primary weapon. But the story doesn't end there, no sir. The Air Force is continuously testing new weapons against heavily armored vehicles. The A-10 also received a facelift with wings capable of enduring a whopping 10,000 flight hours and modern digital tech upgrades. The A-10C Precision Engagement Program is another game changer. This upgrade introduces the Hands-on Throttle and Stick, or HOTAS, system, enabling pilots to control the aircraft without taking their hands off the control lever, enhancing maneuverability to a whole new level. HOTAS places buttons and switches on the throttle lever and flight control stick in an aircraft cockpit. By adopting such an arrangement, pilots are capable of performing all vital functions as well as flying the aircraft without having to remove their hands from the controls. HOTAS, in more modern implementations, is often combined with several other input systems, such as direct voice input and helmet-mounted display, to further reduce workload upon pilots as well as the need to divide their attention between the primary controls and other systems. Apart from the cockpit, the ground control stations, GCS, used by drone operators also commonly have HOTAS principles. The whole purpose of HOTAS is for the pilot to focus their attention upon flying the aircraft, manipulating sensors, and engaging targets, rather than looking for controls in the cockpit. The goal is to improve pilots' situational awareness, their ability to manipulate switch and button controls in turbulence, under stress, or during high G-force maneuvers, to improve reaction time, to minimize instances when hands must be removed from one or the other of the aircraft's controls, to use another aircraft system, and reduce total time spent doing so. The tech upgrades don't stop with HOTAS. The A-10 now boasts advanced screens capable of multifunctionality, displays on pilots' helmets, and high-tech electronic gear, including sophisticated radar systems. These upgrades aim to increase the aircraft's awareness of its surroundings and enhance its precision during combat. Pilots even have helmets with built-in displays. The Scorpion helmet-mounted cueing system. The Scorpion is a monocle-based system that can be applied to a variety of helmet shells that requires just a single, small interface control unit and one magnetic sensor mounted in the cockpit. It provides full-color, dynamic flight and mission data projected directly and safely into the aircrew's line of sight via a large, field-of-view, fully transparent, rugged optical waveguide assembly. This capability allows the user to remain head up and eyes out of the cockpit, with greatly enhanced real-time situational awareness. The A-10 Warthog is also getting a Link 16 connection, allowing it to share data swiftly and communicate effectively. This aircraft is exceptional. It was purpose-built from scratch to excel in close air support missions, and it's no exaggeration to say that it saved numerous lives, becoming a lifeline for many soldiers. Link 16 enables military aircraft, ships, and ground forces to exchange their tactical picture in near real time. It also supports the exchange of text messages, imagery, and voice. Link 16 is a TDMA-based, secure, jam-resistant, high-speed digital data link that operates in the radio frequency band 960 to 1215 MHz. In early December 2023, Air Force pilots were even practicing strafing runs with the A-10 Thunderbolt II. The strafing runs are a part of training exercises where pilots attack ground targets using mounted automatic weapons. The recent exercises captured striking photos of A-10s from the 74th Fighter Squadron soaring above Moody Air Force Base in Georgia. These images showcased the planes deploying flares, executing gun runs, and demonstrating impressive flight maneuvers. The Warthog is known for its iconic shark nose art. Interestingly enough, not all A-10s feature the iconic shark-inspired nose paint. This design, depicting shark teeth, is exclusively adorned by planes associated with the 74th, 75th, and 76th Fighter Squadrons. It's a special homage tied to the history of these specific squadrons as the original 3 Flying Tigers squadrons of the 23rd Fighter Group. Although there are other A-10 units with nose art, none match the iconic shark face. World War II was the birth of the aircraft artwork. The designs ranged from teeth to pin-up models to cartoon characters. The first P-40s to feature the shark mouth war paint were the British Royal Air Force Tomahawks. The design was later adopted by the Americans and featured on US P-40s, which were known as Warhawks. For the Americans, the shark art started in the American Volunteer Group, which eventually became the 23rd Fighter Group. So if only the 74th, 75th, and 76th Fighter Squadrons had the shark face painted on them, then how are the other A-10s decorated? Well, folks, aircraft camouflage is used to make the A-10 more difficult to see as it flies low to the ground at subsonic speeds. Many types of paint schemes have been tried over the years. These have included a peanut scheme of sand, yellow, and field drab, black and white colors for winter operations, and a tan, green, and brown mixed pattern. The most common Cold War era scene was the European 1 woodland camouflage, whose dark green, medium green, and dark gray was meant to blend in with the typical European forest terrain. It reflected the assumption that the threat from hostile fighter aircraft outweighed that from ground fire. After the 1991 Gulf War, the threat from ground fire was deemed more pressing than the air-to-air threat, leading to the Compass Ghost scheme, with darker gray on top and a lighter gray on the underside of the aircraft. Many A-10s also had a false canopy painted in dark gray on the underside of the aircraft, just behind the gun. This form of auto-mimicry is an attempt to confuse the enemy as to aircraft attitude and maneuver direction. Now let's rewind to the 1960s, the era of the Vietnam War, where the story of the A-10 begins. The existing planes, like the Douglas A-1 Skyraider, were falling short at the time. They were too slow, lacked firepower, and were vulnerable to ground fire. Recognizing the need for something superior, the U.S. Air Force embarked on a quest for a better aircraft. They considered various options but found none that met their requirements. In 1966, they made a significant decision. They ceased modifying existing planes and committed to constructing an entirely new aircraft dedicated to close air support. That decision marked the initiation of the AX program, laying the foundation for the A-10 Warthog. General John P. McConnell, a top figure in the U.S. Air Force, championed this cause. By December of '66, they were on the path to developing this close air support beast. Fast forward to 1970, and their commitment intensified as they fine-tuned the plans, considering the potential threat from the Soviet armed forces and the necessity for all-weather offensive operations. The A-10 specifications were impressive. It has the 30mm rotary cannon, a top speed of 460 miles per hour, a takeoff distance of 4,000 feet, a maximum payload of 16,000 pounds, a flight range of 285 miles, and a price tag of approximately $1.4 million, which would equate to around $10 million in today's currency. Northrop and Fairchild Republic developed prototypes, the YA-9A and YA-10A, for a crucial fly-off competition. The YA-10A surpassed expectations, emerging victorious in the AX program, leading to the production of the A-10 Warthog. This $10 million aircraft played a pivotal role in safeguarding American troops worldwide. Serial production commenced in February 1976, delivering over 715 Warthogs to the U.S. Air Force by 1984. The A-10's unique design attributes, including its outstanding low-speed maneuverability due to a large wing area, low wing angle, and sizable ailerons, make it effective for short takeoffs and landings. It operates adeptly on primitive airfields near the front lines, boasting a 5,000-foot loitering capability extendable to 3 hours with an external fuel tank. Remarkably resistant to damage, the aircraft features honeycomb leading-edge panels covering critical sections. It achieved enhanced roll control through the ailerons placed at the far ends of the wings, spanning nearly half the wingspan. This design, coupled with a cruising speed of around 340 miles per hour, makes the A-10 ideal for ground attacks compared to high-speed fighter bombers, particularly when engaging smaller, slower targets. In 1991, during Operation Desert Storm, the U.S. Air Force A-10s showcased their prowess by destroying more than 900 Iraqi tanks, along with 2,000 other combat vehicles and 1,200 artillery pieces. The GAU-8 Avenger gun played a significant role in reshaping the battlefield. Positioned slightly to the side of the aircraft, its barrel aligns with the plane's center, ensuring well-distributed firepower. The hefty ammo drum for this potent gun measures almost 6 feet long, making it the heaviest automatic cannon mounted on an aircraft, capable of holding up to 1,350 rounds of 30mm bullets. The A-10 Warthog's strength isn't just in its Avenger gun. It's equipped with an array of weaponry and defense systems that make it a formidable force. To keep its ammunition safe from enemy fire, smart armor plates of varying thicknesses were cleverly placed between the aircraft's skin and the ammo drum. This design prevents bullets from detonating prematurely. In addition to the Avenger gun, the A-10 is armed with AGM-65 Maverick missiles, essential for defending against anti-aircraft systems. During Operation Desert Storm, these missiles even utilized infrared cameras for night missions, serving as makeshift night vision systems. The A-10's arsenal includes Hydra 70 cluster bombs, rocket pods, GPS and laser-guided bombs like the GBU-39 Paveway, JDAM or Joint Direct Attack Munitions, Wind-Corrected Munitions Dispenser, and the AGM-154 Joint Standoff Weapon Glide Bombs. To modernize the A-10, the Precision Engagement Program between 2006 and 2010 introduced new computers, displays, controls, and color screens featuring a moving map function. An advanced warning system alerts pilots to incoming missiles within the aircraft's range, irrespective of their source, friend or foe. For added protection, the aircraft boasts an electronic warfare unit, the ALQ-184, covering about 6% of the aircraft with heavy armor, enabling it to endure significant hits from explosives and armor-piercing bullets. Essential internal components of the A-10, such as the cockpit and flight control systems, are safeguarded by backup systems too. A substantial layer of titanium aircraft armor, affectionately termed the bathtub, can withstand impacts from 23mm cannon fire and certain indirect hits from 57mm shell fragments. The front windscreen and canopy are designed to resist small arms fire, a likely threat when the A-10 descends for ground engagements. The aircraft's fuel system is strategically placed near the center and separated from the fuselage to shield against ground attacks. Most fuel system components reside within the fuel tanks, minimizing fuel loss due to component failure. Reticulated polyurethane foam lines both the inner and outer sides of the tanks, containing debris and limiting fuel spillage in case of damage. The A-10's simplicity and ease of maintenance make it a standout. It doesn't demand specialized runways and can operate from basic airfields, enhancing its deployability in various scenarios. Its straightforward design and robust construction ensure it endures combat demands and functions in challenging conditions, making maintenance efficient even in bases with limited capacity. Its unique design allows interchangeable parts between the left and right sides, including engines, main landing gear, and vertical stabilizers. With sturdy landing gear, low-pressure tires, and large wings, it can take off from short, uneven runways, even when heavily loaded. This adaptability allows operation from damaged airfields, taxiways, or even straight stretches of highways. The aircraft's smart engine setup, featuring TF-34 GE100 turbofan engines from General Electric, reduces the risk of foreign objects getting sucked in during maintenance and rearming. Engine and exhaust nozzle placement serve multiple purposes, directing exhaust over the tail to evade heat-seeking missiles and balancing the aircraft's natural tendency to tip forward for stable flight. The A-10 has earned its reputation among military pilots for its stellar performance in real combat scenarios. During Operation Desert Storm in '91, it played a pivotal role in providing close air support, excelling alongside other powerful aircraft. Its ability to operate at low altitudes, evade enemy attacks, and deliver precise firepower was instrumental in neutralizing threats from Iraqi tanks, armored vehicles, and artillery. In subsequent conflicts like Operation Iraqi Freedom and Ukraine's conflict with Russia, the A-10 continues to demonstrate its resilience in providing air-based support. General James Holmes highlights the challenge of finding an ideal replacement for the A-10, considering factors like cost and effectiveness. The focus remains on preserving the A-10's unique capabilities as a reliable guardian for ground troops, emphasizing its unmatched excellence in the role of close air support. As the Air Force navigates the complex path of potential A-10 replacements, the aim is to ensure the legacy of this iconic aircraft endures, providing effective close air support for years to come. Thanks for watching. Do you think the Air Force should retire this workhorse of an aircraft? Let us know in the comments. And while you're still here, click on the link appearing on your screen to watch another of our interesting videos. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Catch you on the next one, guys.